All right, it is cold today, so I even have to have a winter jacket on in May. Figure that out, eh? All right, so we got this stripped down. Well, you see it in the last one, I was using the stripping wheel, and you can see how well, actually, look at this side. See how they're still kind of rusty? I'm guessing that thing needs to, I'm gonna wait till I've ordered some new lenses, so I'm waiting for that. So that's fine. But this will make it good to work on for now. I could strip it down, but it's like, that's the problem I find with the laser thing. Actually, I shouldn't even complain about it right now because my lens was broken or not working right. So this thing just clearly has not been cleaning as well as it should. So anyways, I'll be able to strip it with that thing, but I'm not really worried about that right now. I'm gonna wait for Ryder to come. He's gonna play with that. I think what I'm gonna start with today is fix this one door hinge and build some skins for the outside of the doors. I think that is what I am gonna plan to do. I gotta do a little bit of rearranging and cleaning up this mess right now. But this should be pretty straightforward. This door's got some dingers up here, but I'm not really too worried about that. Even here, there's a little bit of a wave, so I'll probably cut the skin off, like weld it somewhere in the middle here. But we'll get that out. We'll kind of get this smoothed out a little bit. I'm pretty sure this door is going to have a little bit of this way to it, not only just kind of rolling the edge, but it's this should be a really easy thing to do. All I'm going to do is figure out we're going to cut this. We're going to grind the edge till we break this edging off so I can peel it off. And well, just do a quick measurement, add a 1/2 inch or so to it all, and we'll bend it in the break, both sides, and kind of stick it on there. The doors, I'm not going to get these off, so I'm going to make this thing a little bit different. We'll have to work this part, not to my liking, but I just looking at these hinges, and I don't know. I think they're riveted on, so I don't think, well, maybe I can unbolt that. Like I could maybe bolt that in after. I'm not sure how I want to do this yet, now that I think about it. I guess I'll make it up as I go here, like I normally do. But yeah, I'm going to peel that thing off. This thing's like a terrible finish. The laser was just totally broken on this one, and I was just trying to clean it up. Like I say, it's should have this finish. So you can totally see the difference, eh? I think it was working, but it was actually finding the good out of that rusty stuff. It's kind of weird, but it's what it does. It's kind of my complaint with this thing. Anyways, enough babbling. Let's build some door skins. Well, I'm gonna clean up first, but I'm gonna make a set of door skins. See where I get. I don't know. Ryder said he was gonna come by tonight, I guess after school, so we'll see how that goes. But if he does, I'm gonna get him to do that little patch there. Hopefully I get 1 or 2 door skins done before then. This is the door that I don't know that I'm gonna use. Parts of it's good, parts of it's not. This door is better overall, but rotten in other places, so yeah, this one's just, it's better, but the top is bad. So, I don't know. This one was a free door, so I think maybe the day I chop it, I won't worry about the top on there, but maybe I'll use this top on that, on that door when we put it all together, but all right. Enough rambling. Let's build some stuff. Oh, you overdo it. Huh? You overdo it.
Oh, didn't get it all the way.
Oh, that one. You didn't get it far enough. You gotta go further.
I can't.
You can, yeah, do exactly what you're doing. No, do it. Put it off the side. Yeah, you hang it off. Normally, that's why this is called a fingerless brake. You can actually take these out in case you needed to make a box or something.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. That's all you can do. Later, we'll hammer it and make it tight underneath there. You know what's going to be? I know you followed my pattern right. Snip this and actually lay it flat. Yeah, that'll work. I'll get you. Oh, here. Sit it straight up. Yep. Do it like that. That's good. Keep going right to the end there. Yep. There you go. That'll work. Now you'll see it'll fit there. Shrink. It's jaws if they squish in. Don't put it in there. If you see, step on it a bit. See, if they squish in, that's shrinking. If they go out, then it's stretching. So if you were to put this on the other side, it would bend the panel the wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. That one's there. I think we got too much. See here how far away this is?
Yeah.
So go in and do this one and this one. A little undo it a little bit. So go to the other side and then unshrink it. Yeah, as long as you're close.
Like fully unshrink it?
Nope, nope. I think you got it there. It doesn't take much to undo it. Do one more. I know that one's a little bugger to get in. Oop. It's probably lots. Probably straightened it right out. See what it looks like though. Hey, 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 that's not bad. I think if you take a little bit more out of this one on the bottom, you'll get this thing to tighten snug in there. But for the most part, it's perfect. Oh, maybe, eh? This wants to go, eh?
Yeah.
I think you got to go in the middle here. Do a small little shrink right there.
Okay.
Maybe we'll find a happy medium for it. Well now, Ryder definitely nailed this one. Give him a little bit of hand. He struggled a little bit with this little cut. Whatever. Practice, he'll get it. I ended up helping. We just stuffed some wire in there. Some of his gaps were a little on the big side, so not a big deal. I think they had the problem with this thing here. It cuts good, but when he gets to a weld, the whole panel just vibrates and it doesn't really cut. So we were doing the grinder, but whatever. He doesn't quite have the finesse to do what it needs. So yeah, I kind of did the last bit of the cut for him. We kind of got her going, but in the end, it's all welded up. Yeah, a little bit of a wobble in there, but it's not bad. This panel didn't quite go right. We need to get a little bit of. We'll have to give it a little bit of massage in there because it's got that little bit of an oil can, but you know what? It's not a big deal. We'll get it. Well, I got this one door stripped down. I drilled out the hinges because they're riveted. So I got to punch all those out. This one might be a little interesting because it might get by. The window track is actually in there. But anyways, I'll drill them out so we can actually do like a nut and bolt kind of dealio. Like a, I don't know what you want to call that. What do you call those where the head of the bolt's got a angled shoulder on it? Anyways, we'll put those in after. Notice some rot down here, so we're going to rebuild this little lip really quick. Here's the panel. You can see what I'm talking about, where we have a lot of this way motion, but there's also this way motion. Nowhere near as much as the one way, but it does need to walk through a little bit just so it has a bit of a dome to it. So all I did was took the grinder to, because I'm not trying to reuse the skin. I think some folks, like if it wasn't rotten, I guess a guy could have cut this off, fixed it, and then put it back on. Then all you'd want to do is make some way to roll this edge by yourself, like a plier, or do something that it flips open. And then you could pull this skin off, straighten it, put it back on, refold the edge. But I don't really care. I just know it's going to have to be yada big, and we're just going to need to add whatever. Let's pretend a 1/2 inch or so for the overlap. So it's going to be as simple as putting it on the brake, bending it, then when we put it on, we'll just finish hammering the edge and give it a couple tacks so nothing can come loose and the door won't wiggle and do stuff. And that's simple. But anyways, first things first, we'll fix up this patch. We'll cut a skin really quick and I don't know, put it back together. Well, we're going to have to run it through the wheel. We're going to have to do the English wheel, so that's kind of next. All right, so let's put a couple clamps on here, get a rough idea what's going on. Let's see why we're doing this. Not so much why we're doing it, but why I have to stretch or put it through the stretcher shrinker. So you could put this door skin on, it would probably be fine. You know, for the most part, it actually probably is okay. Because this part's holding the shape. This is the thing you gotta see, the door. See how it's flat right here? But as we get up to the top, it's got this roundness, and the whole door should have that. So right now I just have it to the edge, so it's holding that shape. And you know what, it goes down flat. And to be honest, if a feller just skinned it like that, nobody would be the wiser. I'm gonna try to put a little bit of shape in it, not very much. So I'm gonna run it through the wheel and just give the whole door just a little bit, so we get a little bit of this down here. Yeah. Well, that's just close though. Really, a feller could just say, no bueno, don't care. I'll just make it work. Yeah. Let's do the shape thing, just because we need a bit. We don't need a lot, but we need a little bit. All right. I have no guaranteed plan. I am just winging this. But I know I'm not putting tons of pressure on here, so. Just want a little bit of pressure, and we're just gonna walk this whole panel. Ooh, that might be too much already. Alright, there we go. You can tell I got a little bit in there because it don't want to fall apart. I have almost no pressure on this thing. The hardest thing with this wheeling is making sure you don't leave tracks. And I'm sure I will, but the primer will fix it in the end. There definitely wasn't a lot of pressure I did, but if you look, you can see all four corners are kind of off the table now, so very, very minimal, but that's all I'm looking for. It's still excessive up here, but I think we just needed, by the time I go down, I don't know if you can actually see, but there is a little bit. We needed so minor. I'm pretty happy with that. All right.
Next step is to get this thing centered on here. I'm gonna mark all these edges. I wanna break them so they're like over broke, if that makes sense. That way I can put them into here and we can kind of hammer dolly it and then like, yeah, hammer dolly to get this thing in shape. This is a little, I think my cut's a little off, so I'm gonna just raise this a little bit so it sits on the lip, and we're gonna just run the saw through there and tack weld as we go. I just know I gave myself a good chunk here. Here's not bad, but something veered a little bit underneath, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Thing over a bit. Not bad. We ventured a little weird over here. There's still plenty to curl over, so it'll be fine. I'm gonna trim off though a little bit of excess there. And we'll take it to the brake and bring everything over.
All right, I have to admit defeat. I'm frustrated. So, what happened? You know, overall, everything worked really well. I tried. I left the sides. It didn't want to play. I kind of gave it a kink. That didn't help it. The problem all started when my shear just hates me. I was just trying to, what do you call it? Snip a little bit off the bottom. And then it folded the panel. I don't know if you can see or not, but it's just fine cuts. That thing just doesn't work well. I've adjusted it, and it's just maybe the blades are dull. Doesn't seem like it. It just doesn't like doing, you know, from nothing to something kind of scenario. Anyways, that happened. I tried to bang it flat, blah, blah, blah. I think somewhere in the lines of here, it got screwed up. My panel got short. So, yeah. Anyways. Okay. So basically what that means, as much as I hate wasting material, that's like no good. So, it's not terrible. I'm sure I can use the pieces somewhere else. But basically what that means is that's hot garbage, and I'm building this again. So, yay. It could be a lot worse. All right, so let's fast forward into building another panel, but it'll be better. I had a couple screw ups on there, and I don't know. Hindsight, I would have fought and just made it work, but I'm trying to make a better patch. So, all right, trying to make it so I don't have to go bondoing everything up. So, let's try this again.
Alrighty, round 2 works so much better. Whoa, I got a little dinger there, but I clamped it just to hold it. But everything else feels pretty good. Just up on top, I put a couple tacks in. I'm gonna do a couple more, and I'll probably spark up the laser just because it's so much nicer to actually try to do. I'm actually gonna try it and use the air saw and see if I can stitch it all together nicely with that thing. Would be pretty cool. I plan to do a whole lot more welding just shortly with it anyways, but for now, just want to get these doors finished. I gotta hammer these all in, but I gotta get a little more nuke off of there, so this edge is kind of nice and tighter. But we're hammered in, so that's all good. When it's all said and done, I'm gonna go spot weld. I'm gonna hammer this a lot tighter, and then gonna put some spot welds all through there, just so it just can't move on itself. But yeah, this is much better than the first one. That one wasn't bad, but I had to put too much pressure for a couple swings, so the door felt good, but you had a little something in there. This one has a little bit there too, but overall, it's good enough for what it is. All right, let's get this thing spotted together, see if I can find some way to get in here and knock that out. If I can't, it's just gonna stay. I'm fine with that. Alrighty.
Well, after the redo, this door's not so bad.
This thing was being super finicky this afternoon, and I ended up spending way too long figuring out what's going on. I don't know, I ended up taking that whole tip apart, cleaning it out, and I don't know, changed out a lens or two, and then it just started working. So we ended up finishing up the top. We lasered that. I tried planishing this a bit. It's a little wrinkly up there. I wouldn't say, like right there probably needs a little bit of something if you were making it super nice, but overall we got a little, from our pliers, we got a couple little dingers there, and it's just slightly wavy, nothing really major up there. I drilled and got that hinge in there. I got to get some bolts. I don't have any of those yet to do these, so. And then this one I got to pull off a different door. But yeah,
Doors skin done. Happy with that. Way better than this round. Maybe I can recycle this one yet. It depends how bad the other door is. I may not have to go as high. We'll see. We'll try, see if I can salvage it. Oh, which door was I using? I cleaned this one, but I don't think I was using this one. No, this one was just destroyed. So I guess I'm using my stock door that was on there. I think this is the one I plan to use. Oh, it's actually pretty good. A couple little dings, but nothing terrible. Oh, here. That would suck. I'm gonna try to bang that out, but whatever it is what it's gonna be. I'm not too worried about it. And then we had the upper post was bad. So, I think I could repurpose that other skin because it gets a little wavy near the bottom here, but maybe I can get that out and we can just do this lower portion. Chop it out and do it.
All right, that came out pretty good. I mean, it's, I could do a little more slappy slap on there, but it's not terrible. It's a little, I could fix and replace the whole thing, but I'm okay with what it is. Did that. I zapped it. I actually managed to do well, like I say, I've been doing farting around like crazy. I'm able to clean it. Like I did laser the whole darn thing off. It's just I'm only able to laser like this much, so it's pretty slow, but it did take it all down. I can totally see how this worked way better than when I did the whole dang car. You can even see right here, like after I even wire brushed it, I lasered it. And this is actually bare steel versus what was under it here. So this part's pretty good. This part looks more gray than that. I don't know. It has a cleaner look. I guess a good example is this is what was happening when my buggered up tip, or right there, and then here we get in. You can kind of see the difference here. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I don't know. I can see the difference, so we'll have to touch this thing up again when I actually get my proper tips. I did hit the fender up over here, so that one's just way cleaner. I'm just not going to actually clean the whole darn thing because that would take way too long. Anyhow, we went in here. What we did is we just kind of used our die, kind of gave it some pressure. I was using a slapper. We were just kind of smacking this panel silly. We had like a big oil can over here. It's gone. It's not perfect, but it's good enough for what it is. That said, this buggered up, not so good panel that I made, it's gonna work. We're gonna be able to reuse some of it for here. So the plan is we'll fit this up a bit, get it in there, not too bad. We'll just cut off the excess, fold that lip, get it in here, burn that in, done. Good enough. What I might do on this one is just do a slight overlap. Reason being is if I was to finish this thing with mud or something, it's gonna need a nice little skim anyways, so the tiniest of an overlap isn't gonna hurt this deal at all. I wouldn't mind, just because this part sort of rotted in here a little bit, so I almost would like to get up here, so I'd almost like to angle this thing down a little just to fix this. There's a little thin spot right there, and like I say, this side's peeled off over here, so I'd have to do this and weld it on. I'd rather just do the fold. So we're gonna mark this up. I'm gonna get this side to come a little higher, and we're gonna trim this thing down. I'm gonna mark this. Probably just run it through the Beverly shear, and then I can take it to the brake. We'll bend that lower lip, and then we can smack it in here, cut away most of the excess that I don't want, and then we're just gonna laser that thing up. That's just, now that I got it working right, it works a mint. Did I show the other door? You can kind of see once we cleaned it up. It's not terrible, not perfect, but it's pretty good. Little spot that was a little weird right there, but I don't know if that was from that or when I MIG welded it. Anyways, enough jabbering. Let's just finish this up and call it a night here.
Well, that turned out pretty good for what it is. It's a little, you know, this would need a little skim, but overall it's a little wavy. This is pretty good, but seeing how I kind of just did a lap weld anyways, it's fine. Oh, you know what? I missed a spot. I gotta do a spot right there. All right, well, I'll weld that up, and I think that's the end for the day here. We got this done. I flipped it over. I was able to bang this out. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better than it was. It's good enough to, I don't know if I'm gonna actually smooth or we're just gonna prime and paint, like try to bang out everything what it is, and we'll just, I'm thinking red oxide primer actually, just to paint it, but we'll see. See if my mind changes. I need to, oh, actually, that's not too bad. That needs a little looby-doob, but that's actually pretty cool. That works. I think I can free up the window crank too. Like it's in there, it's stiff, but it looks complete. So I'm pretty happy with this door, other than that little thing I missed. But well, I got both doors done. Well, they're good enough. I still have to get some hardware so I can actually put the doors back on the car. But yeah, like that one's really pretty nice. This one's like meh, but it's good enough for what this car is, because by far nothing body wise is going to be perfect on this thing, but I feel like we didn't do too bad. Ryder got that whole shindig all done over on this side. Well, kind of helped him with that one. He got that one. We need some fine finishing. I got to finish up welding all this stuff and actually get these fenders welded, but I'm thinking that's about as far as we're getting for this round here. Until I can get to the hardware store, pick up proper stuff, we can get these doors all bolted on, and it'll be pretty good. Overall, worked pretty good. Ryder got last side all patched up. Didn't get around to the welding, all the stuff on there, but at least the doors are more or less ready to go on. We got to still pull all the hardware out, and just to make sure all the latches, the window regulators, all that stuff work, so down the road we can actually roll windows up and down on that thing. But I am thinking that's as far as we're going to get this round. I think next round it's going to be welding up the last bit of the outside of that cab. There's still a few more small patches to make in the back, and hopefully by then my other bits come from my laser that I can do that. And somehow we're going to have to fix these fenders, because I guess I put them on and they're clocked wrong. You can see how this one actually sits down lower than that one. Ryder kind of picked up on that. So I'm guessing I goofed somewhere, so I'm gonna have to fix that, but that's not the end of the world. Anyways, as always folks, I want to thank you all for watching, and we will catch you on the next one. Later.